Hi, this is Greg Shields, and I'm going to show you a scripting framework you can use to assist in automatically mapping printers whenever users switch between different Active Directory sites. You can see in here in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, I've got a little picture that I've drawn of an Active Directory domain. And in that AD domain are three different sites, one for Denver, and one for Las Vegas, and one for Fort Lauderdale. And if I've done my Active Directory site design appropriately, well, then each site should correspond to one or more different ranges of IP addresses, or really subnets. So you'll see that the Denver site actually corresponds to the 1net, and the Las Vegas to the 2net, and the Lauderdale site to the 3net. Most people we're used to thinking of Active Directory sites as a mechanism for logons, and we position Active Directory domain controllers in each site so that users in that site can log on to a local domain controller. But what's interesting about sites is that each site, because of that mapping to that IP address range, can also be used for helping us determine the geolocation of that user. Now, one of the things that we can do with this geolocation information is use that in a login script to help us identify what kinds of printers or which of the available local printers we want to connect to that user's machine whenever they log into that site. There's a couple different things we need. First of all, we're going to need some mechanism for identifying what the site is. And in my first little scriptlet over here, I've actually created that. I'm using VBScript here because a lot of us still use VBScript for our logon scripts. In this scriptlet, I've got a AD system info object that I'm creating here, and ultimately I'm referencing the site name method. And if I double click it, well, you'll see that, yes, indeed, I'm in the Denver site. So I have, the site enumeration. The next thing I have to do is create some sort of conditional statement that helps me make a decision based off of what site that I'm in. That's this second little scriptlet over here. You'll see that once again I'm creating an AD system info object. I'm referencing site name, but depending on what sort of answer I get from that reference, I'm going to do something different. In the case of Denver, I'm going to pipe to the screen, go Denver, and Las Vegas, go Vegas, or for Lauderdale, go Lauderdale. I'm just using this as an example to show you what the select case structure can be for helping you make decisions about what sorts of printers you want to map. If I double click this script, well, you'll see that, go Denver, because indeed I'm in the Denver site. I need to then replace that wscript.echo with, a printer mapping. And there are a couple of different ways that I can go about actually adding that printer mapping. The first is through the use of a wscript.shell object. Now when I'm using wscript.shell, what I'm doing is effectively running an external executable inside of my VBScript. In this case, I'm running the run dll32.exe executable. I'm pointing it at the DLL printui.dll, and I'm instructing this DLL to run the action printui entry. There's a series of switches out here in the back, but ultimately what I'm doing is quietly installing the printer on the server Tricross with name Greg's. Now, some of these DLLs actually have some information that I can pull up in a dialog box to help me understand what this switch structure might be. I can actually go here to the run prompt and open up a command prompt and ultimately just type in run dll32.exe, point it to printui.dll, and then execute the printui entry command with a /? To pull up the printer user interface dialog box. You'll see in this dialog box I have all kinds of different switches that I can do for how I want to configure this printer to get connected or disconnected or whatever. If I close this down and close this down, this is one of the mechanisms I can use for attaching that printer, but admittedly it's kind of heavyweight. Maybe I just want a lighter weight approach. A lighter weight approach involves some objects and some methods that are built right into VBScript. You'll see here the wscript.network object has an add Windows printer connection method. That very simply connects to Tricross/Greg's. If I run either of these, there really isn't that much to see, because again, I'm trying to install these printers silently. Now, having all these bits is great, but I need to consolidate them ultimately down into a single script that takes everything and brings a full solution so that I can map users to the different printers in each site. Let me take a look at this script that I've built. This script here has, again, another connection to an AD system info object, and I'm doing another wscript.network object as well. But you'll notice here in the middle, I'm doing an additional piece of verification that goes through all the printers currently assigned to this computer and removes them before creating the new printer. This can be important so that I don't have any artifacts from the old site that are brought into the new site. Once I've gone through removing the printer connections, well, the last thing to do here is to identify what site I'm in and ultimately add that Windows printer connection.